Well, this baby seal has something in common with the new Apple iPhone, a technology that's being pioneered and marketed right out of our region, a technology that may revolutionize everything from cell phones to smart toys. Louis Ross is here with us today. He's president and CEO of Vertus Advanced Sensors, a Pittsburgh-based company that's helping to rewrite the book on how a lot of electronic devices work. And welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, I guess, and too, welcome home to Pittsburgh. You spent an awful lot of time after growing up in, Beaver County in Japan.
That's right. I've been in Japan for 13 years, going on 14 years, but I grew up in Beaver County, and I left when I was 17, and 20 years later, now I'm back.
And back, bringing a technology that was pioneered in Japan, but you're building the business here in Pittsburgh.
That's right. We're basically in charge of the U.S., Europe, and Asia, working with our partner company, Wacol Japan. And the CTO of my company is the president of Wacol. And Wacol was the first MEMS startup company in Japan.
And MEMS is?
Micro-electromechanical systems.
And why do we care about that? What's the big deal about MEMS?
Well, MEMS has been in development for a very long time, over 25 years. And you have several companies here in Pittsburgh that specialize in MEMS. MEMS now has finally reached a point where it's about to be commercialized en masse. And looking at Vertus and how it was established, we looked at around 5 years ago. I felt that this particular technology for motion sensors, accelerometers,
so that's your
gyros,
piece in MEMS, that it enables you to make the technology that does motion sensor sorts of things.
Yeah, these are MEMS-based motion sensors, using MEMS technology to make sensors.
Okay, we got to show. You want to show a little bit about how it works, and then you can talk about the significance of the technology that underlies it.
This is Paro. Paro is It's won an award in Japan for the best robot in Japan now. This was developed by the Japanese government, and it uses our technology. Our CTO developed this with several companies funded by the Japanese government.
And its purpose is more than being a toy. This actually has a serious purpose as well, right?
That's right. It's not a toy. It is a personal care robot. So this is used in retirement homes in Japan. So the Japanese government spent over $12 million to develop this. And this is the 7th generation of Paro. And so several thousand of them are used in nursing homes in Japan, but they're not sold outside of Japan right now.
Okay, and it's the sensor that Vertus makes that enables this device to move?
Well, the sensor that's here is a 3-axis accelerometer, and this was developed by our CTO for this project. So it doesn't use a Vertus sensor, but in the future that we're going to plan to put our sensors into smart toys and into robots similar to Paro.
Okay, and a 3-axis
accelerometer.
Accelerometer.
Yes.
And the significance of that, or the purpose of that?
Well, the accelerometer, we do accelerometers and gyros. And accelerometers detect motion. Our 3-axis accelerometers detect on 3-axis. So Paro, if you pick Paro up, Paro knows it's being picked up in a certain way. We're also working on 5- and 6-axis motion sensors, and these incorporate a 3-axis accelerometer and a 2- and 3-axis gyro. And this will be able to detect motion all the way around. So a good example of the motion sensors being used in a commercial product, your digital still camera, digital video camera. Also, Nintendo has had a lot of news about its Nintendo wand, or motion wand, that has accelerometers in it.
The one that people are throwing through TV screens for the Wii, right? Because it flies off their hand.
That's right. So
but that's what's going on inside there when people are moving this wand and then they're playing tennis on the TV screen.
That's right. So one of the big applications for us are game controllers. So we're going to be developing different types of game controllers in our Hong Kong office, Vertus Asia, which we'll be announcing on February 2nd.
Okay. And what do you have here in Pittsburgh right now?
Well, right now we're building up our office. Right now we're in the Gulf Tower, and we're hiring people. I just recruited another engineer from Silicon Valley who went to Carnegie Mellon University, and he wanted to come back to Pittsburgh. So I'm looking for people like that. And
why did you want to come back to? I mean, you're a native, so hopefully that made you. You had that yearning to come home, but you're also trying to start a business, so you have to have a serious reason to be here.
That's right. I did not pick Pittsburgh because it was my former hometown. I picked Pittsburgh based on some serious business reasons. You have Carnegie Mellon University and a really good university system here. You have several companies like Seagate, which has their global R&D facility here. It's the best in the world. And we want
and
to...
that's storage. That's storage.
That's storage, and that's another application for us. It's also low cost. I have several engineers who have families. It's a much better place to raise a family. It's more inexpensive. So various reasons. Silicon Valley is closer to Asia, but it has its own problems. And the way Silicon Valley grew, the same circumstances don't exist now. So I don't expect we'll have an office there eventually, but I like the idea of Pittsburgh, also the medical communities here, and we're looking at some medical device applications. We've been approached by a lot of people for that, and we want to work closely with the community here to come up with ideas, because that's not our main line of business. Our main focus is consumer electronics now.
Okay.
But also in the robotics and defense and aerospace, you have a lot of investment coming from the government here. You have the National Robotics Engineering Institute, which is run by the Technology Collaborative, and we're a member of the Technology Collaborative, and they've helped us a lot in the start and getting the office set up and everything.
Oh, really exciting. Well, I guess this is a technology that we're going to see in lots of different applications in the years to come.
Yes.
And hopefully Vertus components will be part of all of it. Well, Louis Ross, thanks so much. This is really exciting, and great to see you're going to build the business here.
Great. Thank you for
Thanks
having
a
me.
lot. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks.
And we'll be back with more of Our Region's Business in just a moment. Stay with us.